EA Sports FC is coming out in just a couple of months, but unfortunately, we'll end up losing a bunch of fun clubs that are on FIFA 23. This means you'll only have a couple more weeks to do some of these saves before the majority of people will head over to the newest EA Sports game. Today, I found 5 really interesting teams that are going to be removed, mainly due to being relegated, and nearly all of them will need a total rebuild, but that's the most fun thing to do in career mode anyway. We'll start off with by far the most famous team in today's video. Malaga were regulars in Europe, and at one point only a decade ago, probably the 3rd best team in Spain. I think a lot of us will remember that 2013 team. It had Isco, Santi Cazorla, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Joaquin, and now is your final chance to use Malaga. After a truly awful season, they found themselves at the bottom of the 2nd division. In the last few weeks of the year, they couldn't turn things around, so they'll be playing next year in the 3rd tier. If you want to spice up this save, I think Qatar Sports Investment did do an exploration of a deal to buy Malaga in real life. The Qatari group's acquisition could have brought in new investment and some big resources that maybe could have saved the team. You can make this happen by giving yourself a takeover of around 10 million euros and seeing if you can survive in the 2nd division. Other than the takeover though, Malaga is just your typical 2nd division rebuild save. You have some recent history to try and recreate. It has only been 5 years since they were last mid-table in La Liga, so you can be really aggressive with your signings and go for really good players. The location of Malaga is also really good. You can try and sign lots of players from local teams like Real Betis and Sevilla, as both are also based in Andalusia, but also make sure you're avoiding their fierce rival Granada. I don't think any player would ever do that move. Overall though, I think Malaga could be a super fun save, and I really do think you should try it out. If you're not feeling Spain though, how about the team that developed Luis Suarez, Virgil van Dijk and Arjen Robben? Well, FC Groningen finished last place in the Eredivisie and will be playing in a league that's no longer on EA Sports FC, the Eerste Divisie. With a reputation for bringing through a bunch of players with over 90 potential, there aren't many better sides for a youth academy focused save. With the Youth Academy, it's really easy to get top talents from the Netherlands, but Groningen are also only 26 miles from Germany, and just 120 miles from the Danish border as well. If you scout these 3 nations, I think you'll get a ton of super fun talents throughout your entire save. While we're on the topic of their location, FC Groningen also share a fierce regional rivalry with SC Heerenveen, who are another Dutch football team from the province of Friesland. Matches between the two are known as the Derby of the North, so I absolutely think your goal should be trying to finish above Heerenveen in every single season you do. Basically, Groningen are a really fun youth-based rebuild side in a top league. I really enjoy this kind of save, so hopefully you'll like the sound of it as well. Throughout the years though, I've spoken about Santa Clara probably at least a dozen times. They're a Portuguese team that plays nearly 1,000 miles away from the Portuguese mainland. They've been one of my go-to saves for years, trying to rebuild the club with players from the tiny island that they call home. After a successful season 2 years ago, they found themselves playing in the Europa League, but this year they found themselves relegated and will no longer be on next year's FIFA game. As a club with such a tiny fan base, the fact that they even managed to get into the Europa League while being relegated is a crazy fact. While you can look at Malaga and Groningen and both say that it was bad transfers that led to them being relegated, with Santa Clara I think it was a combination of the extra travel to every away game and also the lack of players wanting to move to the Azores that caused them to finish last place. Either way though, they'll give you a super interesting final FIFA save you can't do next year. As with all Portuguese saves, I think the goal here is to try and become a similar sized club to someone like Porto, Benfica and Sporting. Even if you can't do this, I promise that this will be a really good save that you will enjoy every minute of. If you prefer playing in a slightly bigger league but with a similar situation to Santa Clara, then I think you should look no further than Union Deportivo Ibiza, the Spanish club based on the Balearic Islands. Ibiza has this unique charm and atmosphere that probably does set it apart from other clubs in the country and definitely other clubs in the league. After relegation though this season, they will not be an option for you on EA Sports FC. While you're the manager of Ibiza, you have the chance to shape the team into a regional powerhouse, both in Spain and beyond into Europe. While they might not have the historical pedigree that some of the clubs in this division have, maybe like Malaga like we mentioned earlier, Ibiza's location and potential for growth make it a really fascinating choice for a FIFA career mode save. We've seen smaller clubs in nice areas attract loads of top players simply because of their location. Think like Lake Como in Italy or Fulham in England and London, You'll need to take advantage of the island's allure to try and attract top talents from Spain to begin with, and then eventually other European countries. Other than signing high-profile players though, it is kind of hard to suggest a career mode type for Ibiza. They don't have a reputation for youth, and their owner is fairly wealthy, but it is tough to spend a lot of money while you're managing in Spain. If you're interested in rebuilding a fun team in a fun location, I do think Ibiza could be the ideal save for you. Finally, let's move from the Mediterranean to the Baltic Sea and have a quick talk about the current situation of Lechia Gdansk, a football club from the city of Gdansk in Poland, which has also just been relegated. While their recent performances have led to a really disappointing relegation for the Polish team, there is still a bit of hope for them on FIFA for a brighter future. If you decide to take over Lechia Gdansk on FIFA, you get a chance to turn their fortunes around. Despite their recent setbacks, the club does actually have quite a solid foundation of talented players and really passionate fan base that still believes in their team. As their manager, you'll have the opportunity to try and rebuild a squad in Poland and work towards winning the club their first ever Ekstraklasa title. Scouting for new talents might require a bit of extra effort, but you'll be scouting in regions you probably haven't done before, like Estonia and Belarus and Ukraine, to try and find the best Eastern European talent possible. With some good strategic recruitment and nurturing of other existing Eastern European talents, I think that you can begin the journey of rebuilding Lechia Gdansk into a formidable force in Polish football. Why not try and see if you can reach the semi-final of the Champions League, something that 2 Polish teams have done in the past, but no Polish club has actually done since 1983. So that's the 5 saves that I don't think will be available on EA Sports FC. Of course, I'd be happy if they are, because that probably means EA has decided to add a few more leagues. Why don't you let me know in the comments below what leagues you wish EA would add, because I'd be super interested in seeing that, and it might be another video I'll make very soon. But check out the playlist and the video on screen right now, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, cheers and goodbye.